all rise to face these.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Glory to be your high and holy name. We attest this day with our hands raised up that there is nobody that's holy and that's righteous as you. We give all thanks and praise unto you, O Yah, for you are our shield, you are our protector, you are our healer. We thank you for allowing us to know who we are, so now that we know who we are, we now know who you are. We thank you, O Yah, for not abandoning us. We thank you, O Yah, for not abandoning us. We pray, O Yah, that you have found acceptable before you our feeble attempt at trying to touch your heart. We pray that you look upon us, O Yah, and continue to deposit within us your Holy Spirit, your righteousness, that we can draw closer to you in spirit and in truth. We pray that you please look over all of those throughout this entire earth that are incarcerated physically as well as those who are incarcerated physically. We pray that you touch and heal. We thank you, we love you, we adore you. And there is none else beside you. Blessed be your high and exalted and righteous name. Blessed be your high and exalted and righteous name. There is nobody like you. There is nobody close to you. You are our rock, our king. And you are the one who provides for us everything. Blessed be your high and holy name. Now, this time forth and forevermore. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We do. Amen.
Let us all lift our voices up and sing on Thou Wondrous Works real tough. Let us all sing it together. Oh, Thou Wondrous Works. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Hallelujah. The heavens declare our God, the Creator of everything. To Thee we lift and when we do, we'll cry out to Thee, following Thy mercies will see. Thou sendest Thy to show us the way. To Thee we send our He makes Blessed be Yehovah King. We thank the merciful King for our lives, food, clothing, shelter, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And I'm grateful to the mighty King for all things and everything. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I guess we can open up the book. I am the teacher for the afternoon. I don't know who's going to read for me, but we're going into the history of Joshua. In the book of Joshua. And we're starting from chapter 7. Thank you, the Most High God, for my life, for being the Creator, for blessing us with wisdom and understanding. And I pray that the Most High God will guard the words that come forth out of my lips. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. We're in the book of Joshua, the 7th chapter, starting at the 1st verse. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
But the children of Yisrael committed a trespass concerning the devoted thing. For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Yahuwah, took up the devoted thing, and the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against the children of Israel.
So the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against the children of Israel for not doing that which God commanded us to do. When we went into Jericho, the Most High God commanded us. That was the first city that we went into in the land of Canaan, right? And the Most High God commanded that nothing there should be touched. Gold, anything. All that stuff belonged to the Most High God. We could look at it in the sense of whenever you get your first, when we went into the land, the first fruits that came forward out of the land, those belong unto God. Right. Whenever we do anything in our lives, we have to consider God first. So God put that thought in us to say, listen, when this first town that you're going to, everything in there belongs to me. I want you to destroy everything in there, all the men, women, children, destroy all the cattle, but all the gold and all the things of value belong to me. But this Judite right here said, this won't be missed. No one is going to even notice that I took this. Right. Which probably was right. No one noticed that he took this. But what happened? He did not follow the command that the Most High God gave the children of Israel. So now there's going to be some repercussions for not listening and following to what the Most High God had to say. Let's go.
And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Beit Aven, on the east side of Beit El, and spoke unto them, saying, Go up and spy out the land. And the men went up and spied out Ai. And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, Let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai. Make not all the people the toil thither, for they are but few.
So they sent some spies out. They sent some scouts out to Ai, and they said, it don't take that many of us to go. It don't take the amount of people that it took to go into Jericho to destroy this city. We only need about 2,000 to 3,000 people. That's what scouts do. Scouts go scout out, say, see the strength of the people, said we could overtake them. Right? And just for reference, the name Akan means troubler. So I don't know if these guys got their names like after the fact, and it's like a nickname, but it's just, it's weird that his name is troubler. Because in this instance, when we read on, we're going to see how he became a troubler to the nation of Israel. Let us go.
So they went up thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. And the men of Ai smote them about 36,000. 36 men. Okay, 36 men. And they chased them from before the gate, even unto Shebarim, and smote them at the descent. And the hearts of the people melted and became as water.
So God just gave us this great victory by just shouting. He told us, circle the city for 6 days, one time, and on the 7th day, circle it 7 times. And when I say charge and when I say yell and scream, it said all the walls came tumbling down, right? That's how we sing the song. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho and the walls came tumbling down. And now, at that point, you had the whole army, entire army going into Jericho. At this point, you only got 2,000 to 3,000 people. And they coming back, hauling behind, coming back into town. What happened? It said that their hearts melted like water. That means that God put the fear in them, or they didn't have that protection that they had when they went into Jericho. And they want to know, why is this happening? Let us go.
And Joshua rent his clothes and fell on to the earth upon his face before the ark of Yahweh until the evening. He and the elders of Yisrael, and they put dust upon their heads. And Joshua said, Alas, O Yahweh God, wherefore hast thou brought this people over the Jordan, to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to cause us to perish? Would that we had been content and dwelt beyond the Jordan. O Yahweh, what shall I say? After that, Yisrael have turned their back before their enemies.
So, it says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 1, it says, The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are secure as a lion. Now, someone was pursuing them. But when you are right, you're bold as a lion. When you are right, nothing makes you fear. And the Most High God, you feel like God is with you because you know you're right. There's strength in being righteous and being right. Whether or not you got all the skills in the world, but when you know you're right, you fight with everything. The Most High God puts a different spirit upon you. So when you're not right, it's the opposite of that. So something happened in the midst that caused the whole congregation to not be right. So one person, one bad apple, could spoil the whole bunch. Right. This is what this is showing. This is the concept that is showing us right here. That one bad apple could spoil the whole bunch. So this is what's happening now. Joshua rents his clothes. He did all that. Now remember, when Joshua first came into the land, the Most High told him what? What was commanded to Joshua when he first came into the land? Chapter 1. Joshua chapter 1. Be strong and courageous, right? So now, being strong and courageous, with all that's going on right now, he crying, he renting his clothes, he bowing down before God. And then what God tells him? Ready.
But when the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land hear of it, they will compass us round and cut off our name from the earth. And what will thou do for that?
He's worried about what the Canaanites and the Amorites and all these people are saying. Now, there are 7 nations that the Most High God told us not to make marriages with and not to make pacts with. Right. Do y'all remember who those nations were? Who? Canaanite, Hittites. That's why I love my people. So now, although there's 7 nations in the land, it's called the land of Canaan. Canaanites is one of the people. But that's like, for example, this part of the hemisphere is called the Americas, right? But what do we recognize as being America? The United States, right? United States of America. But when you say America, everybody associates it with what? The United States. But America is really North America, Central America, and South America. That's all part of the Americas. So it's the same thing here. The land is known as the land of Canaan, but you got 7 different nations within the land of Canaan, but it's known as the Canaanite nation. Right? Let us go.
And Jehovah said unto Joshua, Get thee up, wherefore now art thou fallen upon thy face? Yisrael hath sinned. Yea, they have even transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them. Yea, they have even taken of the devoted thing, and have also stolen and dissembled also, and they have even put it among their own
They stole from God. Because routinely, if you go into war and you take something, that's spoils of war. But God said that belonged to me. He said, get up. He said, you know they've done wrong. I told you be strong and courageous, but when wrong is done, this is what happens. This is a lesson for Joshua, to make him understand that there's a connection. There's a connection that God makes with us as a people. So when we do wrong, nothing goes right. But now, let's not confuse wrong with our own stupidity, because we tend to also blame God for all of our stupidity. Right? It's like yesterday, on Thursday, I went by the supermarket. Now, there's clearly a spot right in front of the supermarket that says no parking Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. But I park here all the time, and I never get a ticket. Right? So now I run in there for about 15 minutes, run back out, and I got a ticket. What am I doing wrong? No, you a dummy. The sign said no parking. This is a loaded zone. You go outside without a jacket, and you talk about, why did God curse me with this pneumonia or with this cold? No, God didn't curse you with that. You did that to yourself. There's a thing called common sense, stupidity, and all the things that we do to cause things to come upon us. Don't blame that on God. You know what is it that you do that the Most High God punishes you for. Those are the sins that you have to be aware of. Not our stupidity, not the things that we take for granted, so that that things come upon us that's of our own doing. Let us go.
Verse 12. Therefore the children of Israel cannot stand before their enemies. They turn their backs before their enemies, because they are become a curse.
They have become a curse because they took what belonged to God. Let's go.
I will not be with you anymore, except ye destroy the accursed from among you.
You got to destroy the accursed from among you, because they already violated. Let us go.
Up, sanctify the people, and say, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For thus saith Jehovah, the God of Israel, there is a curse in the midst of you.
Sanctify yourself against the bar, meaning come before me holy and clean. When you present yourself before God, you can't be with your Isha. Wives, you can't be with your husbands. You got to separate yourself. You have to sanctify sanctify yourself, because you coming before the presence of the Most High, and you cannot be unclean. Let us go.
Thou canst not stand before thy enemies until you take away the accursed thing from among you. In the morning, therefore, ye shall draw near by your tribes. And it shall be that the tribe which Jehovah taketh shall come near by families. And the family which Jehovah shall take shall come near by household. And the household which Jehovah shall take shall come near man by man.
Man by man.
And it shall be that he that is taken with the devoted thing shall be burnt with fire, he and all that he had, because he hath transgressed the covenant of Jehovah, and because he hath wrought the one.
So it's going to be a process of elimination.
Right.
All the tribes come up. Then I'm going to pick a tribe. Then I'm going to pick a clan out of the tribe. I'm going to pick a family out of the tribe. And from there, you're going to see my might. And you're going to see who I am. And I'm going to expose who the trespasser is. Let's go.
So Joshua rose up early in the morning and brought Yisrael near by their tribes. And the tribe of Yehuda.
The tribe of Yehuda, the tribe that goes up first. Let's go.
And he brought near the family of Yehuda. And he took the family of the Zerahites. And he brought near the family of the Zerahites man by man. And Zabdi was taken. And he brought near his household man by man. And Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Yehuda, was taken.
The troubler. Let's go.
And Joshua said unto Achan,
my son,
give, I pray thee, glory to your holy God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hide nothing from me.
I was speaking to my brother Chief Matthew this week about this, and he brought out a very special point. He said, even in Achan, because when we read on, you're going to see his confession. Even in his wrong, he had to give glory to God. They said there's a Scottish. They said this saying comes from Scotland. Said confession is good for the soul. So when you come before God, you have to confess. You can't come before God with a lie, because He sees everything that we do. Right. So at this point, you've been pointed out. Whatever method was used for you to be pointed out, now you have to come up clean and give glory to God. Because what you did in the darkness, it came out to the light. And the Most High God is the one that exposed it. Because if God didn't expose it, the people would have just kept dying.
Right.
Because God said, you're not going to win unless you get the accursed thing out the midst of you. Now dig that. That's the power of our God. So he had to give up the reverence to the Most High God and said, I have done this evil. That's the power of the Creator. Because now we see that. Read on. We're going to get to it.
And Achan answered Joshua and said, of a truth I have sinned against Jehovah, the God of Israel, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoil of godly Shinar mantle, and 200 shekels of silver, and the wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them, and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it.
And the silver under it. Now, Joshua, you got different types of coaches. You got player coaches. Moses, I would say, was a player's coach. But Joshua wasn't a player's coach. Joshua dealt with a strong arm, and he put people to death. They said the children of Israel did no wrong or no evil when Joshua was in charge, because they knew the consequences with Joshua was severe. He didn't play with you. He wasn't a player's coach. Let us go.
So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran into the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them from the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua, and unto all the children of Israel, and they laid them down before you.
So he thought when he confessed probably that Joshua was going to go easy on them, Joshua, I confess and I feel better about myself. Joshua said, get the evidence. Go to the tent, get the evidence. Let's make sure we're doing this right. First things first. Because Joshua sweet talked him. Yeah. He said, come on, man, give the glory to God. Come on, man, confess. Let the people know that God is great. And that's what he did. I confess, I did. So Joshua said, go get that stuff from under his tent. Let's go.
And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the mantle, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had. And they brought them up into the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? Jehovah shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned them with stones, and they burned them with fire, and stoned them with stones.
That's why it says, be careful what you name your children, right?
Yeah.
Because they just might manifest to be what you name them. Akan means troubler. He said, thou hast troubled Israel. Now, when I first read this, maybe when y'all first read this history, what's the first, when you got to this point, what's the first thing that came to your mind? Ezekiel, right. And Ezekiel, why? That's the natural thing that comes to mind. It says Akan did the evil, but they pointed out everything that belongs to him. That's under his jurisdiction. Children, cattle, everything. They said 30-some people died of Israel, but now him and his children got to die. And the first thing that comes to mind is the Torah says a son should not be put to death for the sins of the father. Neither shall a father be put to death for the sins of the son. But everyone should be put to death for their own iniquity, for their own sin. Right? So why is this happening? The thing is, you cannot be akin to sin. You cannot join to sin. It says it was in his tent. That means his children saw it. They helped, and his wife saw it. They helped in the stashing of it, and they helped to keep it a secret. So now when you become complicit to a crime, you have to pay the same punishment. So if you go into a bank and somebody tell you, yo, I'm going to go rob the bank, you just wait outside with the car. You be the lookout, right? And the guy goes in the bank, he kills a couple of people, come out, you get caught with him, you get charged with the same crime. Accessory to the crime. You get charged with the same crime, whether you pull the trigger or not. So this is what's happening here with Akan's family, because God judged righteously. And we see that with Dathan and Abiram and Korah. It says, Moses told them, all of y'all move out of the way. Obviously, who was it? Korah's sons, right? Moved out of the way because we hear about them later in history. They moved out of the way. They didn't join in that sin. So the Most High is always just. The Most High is always righteous. And he's not going to take away those who do righteousness for the evil. He's not going to do that. Let's go.
And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. And Yahweh turned from the fierceness of his anger. Wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day.
Until this day. Let us go.
Chapter 8. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And Yahweh said unto Joshua, fear not, neither be thou dismayed. Take all the people of war with thee and rise up, and arise and go up to Ai. See, I have given into thy hand the king of Ai, and his people, and his city, and his land. And thou shalt do to Ai and her king as thou didst unto Jericho and her king. Only the spoil thereof and the cattle thereof shall ye take for a prey unto yourself. Set thee in ambush for the city behind it. So Joshua arose and all the people of war to go up to Ai.
So the Most High God commanded, he said, look, now you're going to Ai. You can take the spoil, and you can take the cattle. That's it. Because Ai is inhabited by Amorites. And what did the Most High say about the Amorites? We can't make no marriages with them. We can't make any kind of pact. So we don't need their little daughters to be our wives. You don't need their sons to be. Anyway, the Most High always told us when we went into cities and towns and nations, destroy all the men. You never save men alive. When it was time for destruction. Why? Because those boys grow up to be men with resentments, and eventually they're going to get at you. So you got to destroy that. That's war. That's why today wars never end. Because if you bomb my house, right, and my mother and my father is in there, and you keep me alive, I'm going to grow up with the resentment. And I'm going to grow up and I'm going to raise up people with that same resentment. And guess what? I'm going to always be at war with you. Let us go.
And Joshua chose out 30,000 men, the mighty men of valor, and sent them forth by night. Verse 4. And he commanded them, saying, behold, ye shall lie in ambush against the city, behind the city. Go not very far from the city, but be ye all ready.
So now, at first, the scout said 3,000 to 2,000 men. This time, we're not going to take no chances. We're going to be sure. He said he aligned 30,000 men. Right. Let's go.
And I and all the people that are with me will approach unto the city. And it shall come to pass when they come out against us, as at the first, that we will flee before them. And they will come out after us, till we have drawn them away from the city. But they will say, they flee before us, as at the first. So we will flee before them.
So all you people that serve time in the armed forces, what is the strategy that Joshua used here for war? There's a name for this strategy. Come on, Chief Prince. Chief Kohath, where you at? What is the name of this strategy? The name of the war strategy that Joshua used during the battle of Ai was the feigned retreat strategy. It's a feigned retreat because you're really just bluffing the opponent, right? There's certain defenses and offenses for certain things. So when you play sport, so I asked my brother Chief Mecca, when you play basketball and you use a 2-3 zone or 3-2 zone, what's that basically for?
To cover all the court.
To cover all the court, right? And you pray that the opposing team can't shoot jumpers. Correct. Because if they know how to shoot jumpers, they're going to destroy your zone. Right. Or if they know how to move the ball fast enough, you're going to get cutters because with a 2-3 zone, you got guys moving over here, then this guy's running over here. So you got to outrun the basketball, right? And then when that happens, then you got to play man-to-man. And if you play man-to-man and you don't got people that can cover people individually, then you lost the game. Right. So there's strategy to everything. When you play football, there's nickel packages, there's dime packages, there's all types of defenses for offenses that people carry. So this war strategy is called a feigned retreat strategy, meaning I'm retreating, but I'm not really retreating. I'm putting up the smoke screen like I'm running away from you. And of course, the people from Iowa, like that, we beat them up the last time. They ran, and they just running again. So they're just happy that this is going to happen all over again. This is going to repeat itself. Let's go.
And ye shall rise up from the ambush and take possession of the city, for Yahweh your God will deliver it into your hand. And it shall be, when ye have seized upon the city, that ye shall set the city on fire. According to the word of Yahweh shall ye do. See, I have commanded you. And Joshua sent them forth. And they went to the ambushment, and abode between Beth-el and Ai on the west side of Ai. But Joshua lodged that night among the people.
It says, and Joshua sent them forth, and they went to the ambush and abode between Beth-el and Ai on the west side of Ai. But Joshua lodged that night among the people. So, I don't have a slideshow here, but I have a map. So, I don't know if y'all can see this right here. So right here, this is the Jordan River that goes into the Salt Sea, which is the Sea of Reeds. Y'all can see that? It's a little faint that's the Jordan River. So right here, this is Jericho. We went in here first. This is the first land, the first people in the land that we attacked. And now this is Ai right here. So Joshua set some people behind them. They came up north. They hit back here. Behind, on the west side, back here. This is west. And this is east, north, south. So you have some people to the north, some more people to the north. And this is the war strategy. So now, these guys from the west, they attacked. Or they feinted an attack, and then they retreated, they ran. And then the guys that were up here, they just sacked the city, burnt it down. So when these guys were chasing the 5,000 that were on this side, and they looked back and they seen their city on fire, then they was like, oh, it wasn't really what we thought it was. We got set up. Let us go.
And Joshua rose up early in the morning, and numbered the people, and went up, he and the elders of Yisrael, before the people to Ai. And all the people, even the men of war that were with him, went up, and drew nigh and came before the city, and pitched on the north side of Ai. Now there was a valley between him and Ai, and he took about 5,000 men, and set them in ambush between Beth-el and Ai on the west side of Ai.
Between Beth-el and Ai. So, let me show you where Beth-el is at. Beth-el is right here, this little dot. I'm sure you really can't see it, but I'm trying my best to show it. Beth-el is right here, Ai is right here. Two little dots right there. So the people were in the valley right there between Bethel and Ai, the 5,000. Let's go.
So the people set themselves in array, even all the hosts that was on the north of the city. They had real lying in wait on the west of the city. And Joshua went that night into the midst of the vale. And it came to pass when the king of Ai saw it that the men of the city had hastened and rose up early and went out against Israel to battle, he and all his people at the time appointed in front of the Arba. But he knew not that there was an ambush against him behind the city.
Behind the city. So right here, in a book called The Art of War, written by a man, a general by the name of Sun Tzu. It's a Chinese military book, or strategy, or philosophy. It says, do not pursue an enemy who simulates flight. This advice caution against pursuing an enemy that unexpectedly runs away or shows a weaker force, as it may be bait for an ambush. Right. So this advice came about 1,000 years too late. But that's basically what it is. If you see somebody running away from you, everything that it seems might not be what it is. So there's different strategies of war. They got overconfident because Israel ran initially. They lost some people, and they figured that the same thing would happen again. Right. And this is not what was happening at this time. Let's go.
And Joshua and all Israel made as if they were beaten before them, and fled by the way of the wilderness. And all the people that were in Ai were called together to pursue after them. Right. And they pursued after Joshua, and were drawn away from the city. And there was not a man left in Ai or Bethel that was not after Israel, and they left the city open and pursued after Israel.
So this main retreat strategy only works if you're disciplined. You have to be disciplined. Because you could be running, but you in the midst of running, you gotta sacrifice sometimes. It's not just a full-out run. Right. But it's giving the opponent enough confidence to make them follow you. Right. Right? So you're defending yourself because you don't want to die, but you draw them out from his comfort zone. And once you draw them out from the comfort zone, then the rest of the army comes in behind them and ambushes wherever they can be, wherever they women, their children, all that. And when they turn back and they look at the city on fire, and all the heart goes out of them. And they understand now that they've been set up. Let's go.
And Jehovah said unto Joshua, stretch out the javelin that is in thy hand toward Ai, for I will give it into thy hand. And Joshua stretched out the javelin that was in his hand toward the city. And the ambush arose quickly out of their place. They ran as soon as he had stretched out his hand, and entered into the city and took it. And they hastened and set the city on fire.
Set it on fire.
And when the men of Ai looked behind them, they saw, and behold, the smoke of the city ascended up to heaven. And they had no power to flee this way or that way. And the people that fled to the wilderness turned back upon the pursuers. And when Joshua and Israel saw that the ambush had taken the city, and that the smoke of the city ascended, then they turned back and slew the men of Ai. And others came forth out of the city against them. So they were in the midst of Israel, some on this side and some on that side, and they smote them so that they let none of them remain or escape. And the king of Ai they took alive and brought him to Joshua.
So when they came out, they pursued. The other people went into the city and burned it. The ones that were Israelites that were running away, the 5,000, was they seen that the city went up on fire. Right. They turned around, and now they got them. And then the ones that burned down the city pursued the people that came out of the city of Ai, the Amorites, and they just had them in a sandwich. Right. And it was all over. They just destroyed them. And it says that they captured the king of Ai alive, and watched what they were going to do to him.
And it came to pass, Israel had made an end of slaying all the inhabitants of Ai in the field. Even the wilderness wherein they pursued them. They were all fallen by the edge of the sword until they were consumed. And all Israel returned unto Ai and smote it with the edge of the sword.
They smote it with the edge of the sword.
And all that fell that day, both of men and women, were 12,000, even all the men of Ai.
Even all the men of Ai. Let's go.
But Joshua drew not back his hand wherewith he stretched out the javelin, until he had utterly destroyed all the inhabitants of Ai.
So now we think in terms of these were nations, but there were only 12,000 men. So some cities, Brooklyn has more people than that. Certain sections of Brooklyn have more people than that. So when we think of nations, right, we're not talking about millions of people. Because we're talking 12,000 men, they say on an average there were more women than men, right? Maybe like double the amount man or something, because man go to war, especially in those days. So we're talking no more than what, 60, maybe 70,000 people, they're that much. And we maybe more with the children, but even if that, some cities in New York, some boroughs in New York City definitely have more people than them. So we, in terms of, in those days, back then, Brooklyn would be considered probably 7 different nations. Because if you break down Best-Eye, if you break down East New York, Brownsville, it'll be considered like different nations. And that's how they looked at it, because the land of Israel is really not that big. What we consider the land of Canaan, the land of Israel, is really not that big. So this is what they're dealing with at this point. They destroyed the 12,000 out of all of them, and let's see what it says here.
Only the cattle and the spoil of that city Israel took for a prey unto themselves, according unto the word of Yahweh which he commanded Joshua. So Joshua burnt Ai, and made it a heap forever, even the desolation unto this day. And the king of Ai he hanged on the tree until the eventide. And after going down, the son Joshua commanded, and they took his carcass down from the tree, and cast it at the entrance to the gate of the city, and raised it on a great heap of stones unto this day. So
there's a monument there. When it says until this day, it meant until that time when this book was written. Right? So he left a monument there to show the people this is what happened to this city, and this is what happened to this king. Now, what is going around? People are knowing what's happening. Because just like we sent scouts, other nations sent scouts. That's how they knew when we came into Jericho that those were spies. Because people, I mean, this is part of espionage. People are always sent spies into other people's countries, and when they find spies, people know that there's spies around. So the other nations are going to see, they're going to hear fear, and they're going to either get ready or they're going to bow down. But these 7 nations have no option but to fight, because we're not taking them as prisoners. We have to destroy them. So this is wartime for Israel. And it's a young nation. No one in the nation is older than what, 39? Maybe 40 at this time? No one is older than that, except Joshua and Caleb. That's it. You got a bunch of young people in this nation. Let us go.
Then Joshua built an altar unto Yahweh, the God of Israel, in Mount Ebal, as Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, commanded the children of Israel, as it is written in the book of the law of Moshe, an altar of unhewn stones, upon which no man hath lifted up any iron. They were on burnt offerings unto Yahweh, and sacrificed peace offerings. And he wrote there upon the stones a copy of the law of Moshe, which he wrote before the children of Israel, and all Israel and their elders and officers, and their judges stood on this side of the ark and on that side before the priests and Levites, that bore the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, as well the stranger as our own, half of them in front of Mount Gerizim, and half of them in front of Mount Ebal, as Moshe the son of Yahweh had commanded at the first, that they should bless the people of Israel. And afterwards he read all the words of the law, the blessing and the curse, according to all that is written in the book of the law.
So where in the Torah do we find this? Where in the Torah do we find? We just read it maybe like a month ago, maybe like a month and a half ago. Deuteronomy what? What? Come on, you're almost there. 20 what? And all the people shall say, what chapter is that? That's 22. You're almost there. 28 is the blessing is the blessing of the curse, but that's not what it's speaking about. It's speaking about 27. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 27 real quick, and you're gonna see exactly what it's speaking about. Because this is what Moses commanded us when we get into the land, what we should do.
Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 11.
Right.
And Moshe charged the people the same day, saying, He shall stand upon Mount Gerizim to bless the people when you are passed over the Jordan. Shimon and Lewi and Yehuda and Yisrael, Joseph and Benjamin. And these shall stand upon Mount Ebal for the curse, where you bring God not yet. To whom Dan and Naphtali, and the Levites shall speak and say unto all the men of Israel with a loud voice, Blessed be the man that make for great.
So this is what's happening at that time. Right. This is what Joshua and the Levites and all of them are doing at that time. This is coming to pass, not that we got into the land, Mount Gerizim, Mount Ebal, and this is, and I'm going to let my brother continue to read it. Let's go.
First be the man that maketh a graven image, or motion image upon an abomination unto your the work of the hands of the craftsman, and set it up in secret, when all the people shall answer and say,
Amen.
First be he that dishonors his father and his mother, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
First be he that removes his neighbor's landmark, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
First be he that maketh the blind to go straight in the way, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
First be he that perverted the justice due to the straight fathers and the widow, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
First be he that lies with his father's wife, because he hath uncovered his father's turtle, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
First be he that lies with any man of peace, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
First be he that lies with the sister, the daughter of his father, or the daughter of his mother, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
First be he that lies with his mother-in-law, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
First be he that smiteth his neighbor in secret, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
First be he that taketh a bribe to slay an innocent person, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
First be he that confirmeth not the orders of the Lord to do them, and all the people shall say,
Amen. So this is what we did at this point. This is what we did here, and this is what the people are doing at this time to confirm the words that was given to Moses by the Creator of heaven and earth. That this is what the people should do. To testify that God is King. And to make, and the Most High also hold us accountable for our words. Because when you're saying amen, you're saying so be it, right? Amen. So be it. So when you confirm the words, you're saying, when you confirm the word by saying amen, you're saying so be it. That means you enter into covenant with the Creator because you're saying so be it. Let your words be what they are, and I agree with it. Amen. Let us go. Finish Joshua. I think you got it.
There was not a word of all that Moshe commanded, which Joshua read it out before all the assembly of Israel, and the women and the little ones, and the strangers that walked among them. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Blessed be our King. We thank the mighty King for our lives. Thank the Most High Creator for all this and everything, food, clothes, and shelter. We ready, right?
Yeah, just explaining on why Joshua took the dead body down.
Oh, right. Because anything that remains after past sundown becomes a curse before God. So Joshua took the body down so that he wouldn't violate that law. Right. So he put him under some stones and he eliminated that evil from the land. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. This time we will get ready to close out. First by doing the close out prayer. Let's all rise. First start by singing or reading the Constitution of the Nation of Yisrael. The world knows this as the Ten Commandments. The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verses 1 to 17. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that's in the heaven above, that's in the earth beneath, that's in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down to them, nor serve them. For I am the Lord thy God, who does God. Visited the false, and show Yisrael, Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh Echad, Baruch Shem Kivot, Ma'akuto Le'olam Va'ed. Hear, O Yisrael, Yahweh our God, Yahweh is one. Blessed be his name, whose glorious kingdom is forever and ever. We call Yisrael Yimru. Hallelujah. We pay homage. Elohei Abraham. Elohei Yitzchak. Elohei Yaakov. Hallelujah. Amen. This time I say the words that Most High God gave unto Moshe and give unto our his sons blessed to the East. Open and pray that on the conclusion of this day, that the Most High God will look down upon each and every one of us and grant us a blessing. Why God bid Yehovah El Moshe Lemor. God bid Elohim El Ben Alemor. Kotabaku Ebene Yisrael Amor Lahem. And Yehovah spoke unto Moshe, saying, speak unto Aharon and unto his son, saying, on this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel. Ye shall say unto them, Yivareka Yehovah Yishmereka. Yair Yehovah Leka. Yisa Yehovah now Leka Yasem Leka Shalom. May Yehovah bless thee and keep thee. May Yehovah make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. May Yehovah lift up his countenance upon thee and may he grant thee peace. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We see the for announcements. Also for all the congregants right after the announcements, we're having a nation meeting. We need to sit down and have a nation meeting for all the people who are congregants. If you're not a congregant, a member of the congregation, we just ask you to go to the next room, wait in the next room while we finish out having our nation meeting. So first announcement to the people online that would like to donate, make your donations out to Big D.C.B. 382 Hamilton Avenue, Brooklyn, New York on 1231. Once again, Big D.C.B. 382 Hamilton Avenue, Brooklyn, New York 11231. Red Hot Square, we got your donation, and I'm handing it to the Chief of CHOKMAH. So thank you for your donation. Thank you all for your continued support. Everyone, I thank you all for your continued support. You can also donate on PayPal, info at BigDCB, info at BigDCB.org. That's everyone. You can donate info at BigDCB.org, or you can donate on our super chat. The dollar symbol on our chat right there, as you see it on YouTube, you can donate there. You can also donate on our website, www.bigdcb.org. That's for everyone that's wants to donate. So we have donated so far.
Letitia Stewart.
Letitia Stewart, thank you for your donation.
And around here.
Around here. Make sure you get Chief of CHOKMAH. All right, so that's for everyone. Any announcements, any birthdays, we're going to be this nation. We everybody in the next room. We have a birthday. Now, I don't know, but I've been told my sister now years ago. She danced last week. She should dance this week. You're right, when there's someone down. So she danced. And at the end of the birthday, you want to dance today? Yes. That's it. Tell me you're go right over here. There you go. All right. There you go. Okay. Any other announcements? Anything? Nothing? Okay. You gotta put them back into your business. That's right. So if you did it, knit and make, if you want to donate, you could donate something, but don't give all the posts. Right. Oh, okay. All right. So blessed be the Most High. The sister has keyboard and you got sauce also? All right. So the sister crochets and all the people that keep on head where she has them. Any other announcements? Okay. What's going on,
Lewi.
huh? Shoots Lewi. Thank you for your donation. And so I guess at this time we're going on and we're about ready to have our nation meeting. Everybody is on the congregation, but please